Okay, we're back. Welcome to the 11 o'clock meeting of Public Services. Building and Planning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Jackson, Building and Planning. Just wanted to give you some updates. The Boundary Review Board, Mark Smith has stepped down from the Boundary Review Board. So I worked with Kelly this morning and she's got it on your website to look for an applicant or a volunteer for the position. And then on that same note, Jim Bain has resigned from the Planning Commission. So we will be looking for a replacement for his position. So that one will go on the website as well. I don't know if you've received anything formally. Yes.
Regarding that, we had discussed cutting the numbers down on the planning commission.
Yeah,
So we may not replace Jim.
I think we maybe just put that on hold for a little bit. I was going to at BPAC this Thursday, I was going to talk a little bit about some of my ideas and get some feedback from them. And then I was going to schedule a workshop where we could further decide what to go.
I was going to suggest that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. And then we'll have to work with our legal department to get the ordinances and stuff in place for making sure we're following everything we're supposed to do. So
I think Jim was from the first commissioner district. Kalama.
Right.
correct. And then tomorrow on the board's agenda on consent, we've got the drainage, the CDID number 2, the drainage study for the hydraulic and
This is
the
this
10th
is down in
That's
Woodland,
we were
the
talking
Woodland
about.
Bottoms.
Yeah.
Yep, the MOU that we've been working with, and that's the hydrologic and hydraulic drainage evaluation study for the next 10 to 20 years. So that is on consent tomorrow.
You will presenting the results.
After they get, this is just the MOU for us to agree that CDID can do the drainage study. Yes,
Oh,
but I will share them when we get those. DOE.
Will that involve any cost on our part?
Nothing. It's all completely covered by CDID number 2.
Yeah.
The DOE grant, our staff or my staff applied for a DOE grant for a shoreline grant of $50,000 from Department of Ecology. I did not know it had been submitted. We were recipients of the money. And so I've worked with our legal department and we are turning the money back to Department of Ecology. Nothing was expended on our behalf. I did not apply for the grant. So it's basically a way for them, the Department of Ecology to track shoreline permits on people's properties. And I didn't think that our board would support that. So I've returned the money to the state. I just wanted you to know in case Department of Ecology reaches out for any reason. And then our surface mine ordinance, we are, Doug's office is too busy to help us assist us moving the surface mine ordinance forward. So we are utilizing our contract attorney, Jay Durr's office and his planner that he has up in Seattle. And our staff meeting, the first one will be this Thursday with them. So it'll be myself and senior planner and associate planner that worked on it before. We will be working with Jay and Andrew up north to at least get the process in place so we can move forward. So we don't have to do another extension. We would like to finish this and get it, whether it has to, whatever the path is going forward, whether it has to go to planning commission and if there's a SEPA involved, some of that was already done prior. And then the comp plan took precedence over it. So we want to make sure we're dotting all our I's and crossing our T's. So that's where we're at.
So the expectation is wrapping it up by next August, or when's the interim controls expire?
June. The
We have
interim
till June.
controls are up in June and my hope is to get it done as soon as possible. But we need to make sure we're following the process correctly and making sure that everything that was done prior continues and we only do what we need to do, but it is going to cost our department to get this done, but that's okay. So you may see an amendment coming forward, but it won't be, we have money now, but it would probably be into next year that we would need to utilize the professional services contract. Ryan's office is aware, Doug and Ryan are more than aware. Doug asked it to go there. And so you may see one of those where Ryan appoints Jader's attorney or office to do the surface mine ordinance. So
What have they helped us with before? I recognize the name.
the
but
Woodland Bottoms,
They did the Woodland Bottoms.
they're working with
negotiations.
us.
Oh,
Yes.
okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. So.
Good.
That's all I had this morning.
And I know the comp plan's coming up because I'm going, Wasatch's putting on a training next Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm driving up to Olympia so I get my head around a little bit better as to what to expect as that starts moving forward.
Ours isn't. That's for growth management. And we're not growth management.
I love that youthful enthusiasm.
Yeah,
So on Wednesday, you'll be gone? Are we meeting on
Wednesday and
Wednesday?
Thursday, yeah.
This Wednesday, the 18th.
Okay,
It's the.
and you're
Public
talking like
Works
this
group.
Wednesday?
No, next
Next
Wednesday,
week.
Oh,
Next
there
week.
you
next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Well, if the building of homes continues at the pace it has been this year, we might very well hit that 17% threshold of growth in the next census.
It has me
And you will
concerned.
probably, I mean, you will probably be still on the commission by then and be presiding over the great transition to becoming a GMA county.
Well, Woodland deals with it too, so
Yeah.
it's good stuff to know.
All right, the next thing on the agenda is for facilities. So on the agenda tomorrow is just a completion letter for the museum HVAC that was just completed. So it was a two-part project where insurance is reimbursing for a majority of it from vandalism there. But for competitive pricing, we had units that needed replaced as well. So we went out for competitive bidding and bid those as one job. But a majority of that is reimbursed by insurance. There was one small change on that job, which isn't incurred by the county. There was some razor wire, which you see, and when they were sweating in with all the artifacts at the museum, there was some additional labor needed while they were sweating in copper pipes. The insurance is going to reimburse on that. So you do see, you'll see on the contract documents where it does say change, but it has nothing to do with the county. It's directly reimbursed by the insurance.
Yeah. It's just. This is great. It's sad state that we're in, that you have to fence in and razor wire your HVAC equipment.
Yep. And one nice thing working, we had great success with JH Kelly, local contractor. If you flip the page over, one thing, after the razor wire, you also see in the second picture is the piping was covered by some,
Oh, yeah.
metal sheathing, and that was at no cost. They just did that to secure their work as well. Any questions, concerns?
What happened to junkyard dogs?
Yeah. I just have and it's just more a form of a information question for me. Because I was over at the juvenile center and seeing all the garbage cans on the roof. And I know we have plans for that. Just for my own information, how far down the road are we with that, Mike? I'm not suggesting anything. I just saw all the cans running around and different things, and I'm going, whoo.
You want to take that? You want me to
Yeah,
start?
I'll start. Mike Moss, Public Services Director. Yeah, we toured that facility again, I believe just 2 or 3 weeks ago. And there's quite a few garbage cans in the hallway. They do have quite a few leaks. We have an estimate of around $2.5 million for repairs or not repairs, but replacing that rooftop or the roof, membrane roof. We're actually going to discuss it Wednesday. We have a couple different options for you guys during our 5-year capital plan. And that's one of the
Oh,
items
okay.
on there is for Wednesday. it looks like we're trying to calendar, if we're gonna move forward, that looks like maybe a 24 or 25, 2024, 2025 project, but it does come with a chunk of change, $2.5 million.
Yeah,
That's the
I know-
estimate now.
I knew it wasn't cheap, but
No.
it's just going, wow.
Yeah.
You know, okay.
How much
That
would
was
it
all.
cost if you did it yourself?
Less.
That's all I had. I was just curious more than anything.
Is that it? Any other further questions? Okay, moving on to Public Works.
I was wondering about whoever gets the contract, if we would hire them temporarily for the duration, they become county employees for the duration. You get my drift?
We could save some money. That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, instead of prevailing wage, yes. We don't have a lot on our agenda today, but we do have Susan in the office with us in case we have miscellaneous items, along with Savannah. So budget workshops, just mainly an update that will be here Wednesday, and we expect a fairly long meeting on Wednesday. We have all our items from solid waste to roads to vehicles, our equipment. Then we mentioned our 5-year capital plan from facilities, our 6-year road plan that Susan presents. So I would expect maybe a couple of hours with us, or at least an hour and a half on Wednesday. We'll have a lot of handouts for you guys and move forward from there.
Pizza, something like that.
We could bring lunch.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to be scheduled earlier this year on different days, but we tried to just combine it all into one for you guys, make it maybe life a little bit easier for you. And we weren't here last week. We have no personnel request. So that's why you didn't see us last week during the workshop.
So how are you doing on staffing?
Good. We have the normal rotation. We always have seemed like a road crew person open and maybe a landfill position open. But we have an engineering position open in the office. And what else, Savannah?
We do have either, if it sounds like it didn't happen this morning, but we will have a request to fill coming for a landfill operator 3 position. So that should come when Jessica returns. So you'll see that.
Yeah, we lost it's actually on the agenda tomorrow on your consent agenda, a letter from me to Jeff Orth. We lost a good employee at the landfill too, and to Chilton Logging. So, unfortunately, we lost a few people to Chilton over the years, so
It happens.
it does. The second item we have on there is a quick update on space, and I'll kind of turn this over to Savannah for now for where we're at on reconfiguring maybe offices, or, we've been doing a lot of tours at different facilities from HOJ, juvenile, annexed, and kind of give you an update where we're at.
Hello, good morning. Savannah Clement, Public Services Deputy Director. So just tagging on to what Mike had already mentioned, we've been doing a lot of tours and we've been working with OPD, Ian and his staff, and trying to secure long-term space for them. I think we're making some really positive headway. I just don't have anything to report in a public meeting. We're still working with other electeds and departments on some potential space for them, but we're kind of working out those kinks. So we hope to have something to present to the board in the next couple weeks regarding OPD. Again, I think it's some positive movement. Kind of excited. We hope to meet with Ian this week and then go from there. Nothing really to share, but that it's going in the right direction.
I want to mention that a couple of weeks ago, I attended the Longview Centennial Gala. And in the Crystal Ballroom at the hotel. And there was an empty chair next to me, and this elderly gentleman sat down next to me and struck up a conversation, had a little mustache. I said, "You remember me?" And I said, "Yes, you're Harry Rennick, isn't it?" He said, "Yes. What are you guys doing to me?" I wish we could get some resolution to the money. I said, "But I understand you're getting quite a nice premium in the meantime." He said, "Yes, that is nice, but I have a long-term need to settle that." And so he chewed my ear for a little while, and of course, I I said, well, I know we're working on it. That's about all I can say to him. But I didn't mention whether the plans were going to include him or not. I did. They we're just continuing to work on looking at possibilities. So
Yeah, their representative has reached out to us every other week or so to ask for updates, and we just tell them we're going to continue to pay the premium for a little bit here till we get a game plan in place for OPD. And like Savannah mentioned, we're hopefully getting closer to giving you some ideas of where they might be able to move to if they move at all. So,
he did look at me and he said, "You're not going to find a better place."
And that's all I have.
I have gotten some questions about the old broken down building at the corner of the fairgrounds parking lot. You know,
There used to be a road crew shop.
I have no idea what it was.
The
But
one
it's on,
that-
you know, it's on the
right.
parking lot side, so it's across from the fairgrounds. At New York and 7th. I thought it had been used for storage of documents.
Oh,
for a while.
Pigeon Club.
yeah.
So it's utilized by a pigeon club. I think it still is.
It's being utilized.
Yes, there's still an active pigeon club in the community that is being used for.
And the
And
expo
they get
grant,
it, and they get it for free.
I thought there was.
There's some kind of lease agreement and
Yeah.
we can find out from the event center, but the event center manages that.
And this event center over the years has stored quite a bit of their fair used items, like they only use at fair time, some.
Ribbons.
Yeah, a lot
stuff
of
like
extra
that.
stuff they store inside that structure throughout the year, but it is an eyesore, yeah.
And the other thing, I don't know if you've heard at all, anything about it. But one of the Rotary Club sponsors a Harvest Classic run, and they base it out of LifeWorks and use the parking, and they start on New York and they run the route. But this last time, first weekend of October, there was a big top. The Cirque Italiano that was on the parking lot. That
Yeah.
was a big surprise to the club when they were setting up. All of a sudden, their parking was gone.
Gone.
And do you know anything about that?
No, I'm sure that's up to Kim Bocat and the crew
Right,
there,
yeah.
what they rent out. And yeah, I saw that. It was a pretty large setup with that tent over there in that 7th Avenue
I
parking
think
lot.
it's City of Longview property they work with to put it on, right?
I think most of that's,
Mostly our parking lot.
I know there's some right away, some City of Longview right away from old street. But I think that's more towards the Armory side, that there might be
Okay.
a City of Longview stretch through there, but I think most of that's county owned property.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, okay. I thought
I was,
maybe you might know what's going on over there.
I was gonna put a call into Kim today anyway on a different matter. I might just ask.
Because I know it's been brought up, I thought you might be going to different properties that's near the morgue on the county property. That I think maybe Brian Magnuson's brought up in the past about maybe it was Public Works property. It used to be an old road shop.
Yeah.
But all the stuff back there stored is none of Public Works, but no material. It's like old bleachers and old stuff that Kim has stored back there. And we call it the paint shed because they have a lot of paint supplies back there too. So that's all Kim's material and fairgrounds materials, nothing to do with Public Works.
Okay.
Thanks.
They had only brought it up because if the hotel goes in,
Yeah.
they didn't want that, but if it's not our stuff anyway, they.
Correct, yeah.
They can just, they'll take care of it. Yeah.
If there's nothing else, I'd like to go back to this.
Sure.
I'll do my best. That's the HVAC at museum.
Oh,
Yeah, sometimes we put a lot of effort into protecting something, but I don't think it would take anybody who really was interested in this very much effort. So I'm suggesting alarming it or putting cameras on it. Because right now, even with a little hydraulic jack, I could spread, go in.
In there. Yeah, I don't know if those requirements after the fact, if insurance company, since they paid out a majority of this reimbursement on this issue, if they came after the fact and said, hey, we'd like to put razor wire or whatever they needed to on the site, that's why they paid for it. So it may have some of those came from directly from the insurance company. That's something we could directly ask Will about.
And I know that is also the location for our homeless sleeping.
Hmm.
You'll notice just to the left of the picture, the back door, that's kind of protected. And so I know our guard very typically is coming in and having to rouse people out. At least they used to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think they actually asked for additional lighting for in that area to maybe keep people from camping on that back door section, correct? I don't know if Will has anything to add about there's questions about the razor wire and was that a request from the insurance company?
No, the request was from Facilities for Security on the county's behalf. Sorry, as I try to catch my breath, I hurried over. But no, we had vandalism there once. It was in order to, prevent vandalism for the second time and prevent county assets. We asked insurance if they were willing to reimburse for that, and they said yes.
Commissioner Mortensen's concern was that maybe there might be other ways to get in there and get a forklift in and not, the razor wire may not be able to keep them out completely, that maybe cameras or some alarms, something in that system might work best in the future.
Of course, you could put in their high voltage, very low amperage. It won't kill anybody, but it'll make them be uncomfortable.
I think the razor wire is, sufficient now. I don't expect us to have an issue again, but yes, I think
Except that it's, okay, we'll discuss this offline.
Yep.
You need a motion sensor sprinkler system.
Kind of like your garden for deer.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
but a bigger,
Yeah,
sprinkler, like a hose, like
yeah,
a fire
yeah.
hose.
maybe fire hose pressure.
If it weren't so chilly, python would be good too.
Yeah,
A hungry python.
yeah. Anything else?
We did get some pricing in for removal of ivy. I haven't looked at all the quote yet from between this facility and the south end towards the post office. We talked about using maybe some different forces for removing ivy around the HOJ building, but for this facility here, we're looking at maybe using a landscape company. So hopefully get that done here next month or so.
I think they're here this morning.
Pardon me?
The company was
Oh,
here.
Yeah, they've been working around here, but I don't think we gave them a final nod for that ivy removal. But it's on our list, so I haven't heard much back on the HOJ tree removal. It sounded like the project went well from what we could tell from our side. Not much word from the citizens, which is good. We hopefully they notice that we're just trying to maintain those trees. But we're looking at hopefully starting the project on the south and the east parking lot with Lakeside in the next 2 weeks. So we're trying to get on their schedule and get those ground out and repaved and restriped and recurbed. So quite a project coming up.
Are
I
you
want to
prepared?
let you know that, speaking of the Hall of Justice, I spent a delightfully sensory deprived morning last Wednesday on jury duty in classroom or in courtroom 3. The chairs are in pretty bad shape. They're just not very comfortable. I heard a lot of groaning as prospective jurors were lowering themselves into these not very comfortable seats.
I know we're getting pricing in to redo the jurors waiting area. And get some TVs on the wall, some better, more comfortable seating along with some charging stations, but we haven't really, I personally haven't heard about looking into courtroom seating at all, but that's something we can discuss with our team.
I know we've done some of the courtrooms and we've changed the seating, but I don't think this is the smaller courtroom.
I know we reconfigured did courtroom 7 this summer, so.
Oh.
We'll look at courtroom 3.
It no longer is used as a courtroom, right?
Courtrooms, yeah,
cells,
nope, now
different.
it's turned into cubicle space, yes.
Yeah.
Office space.
All those clerks were adding, I'm sure.
All right. Okay, all right, well, I guess we'll see you Wednesday with a full schedule and we'll bring lunch,
Okay.
bring snacks of some sort. All
I'm teasing.
I
about
know you
that. Yeah.
right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
So, Will, if you have a moment, then.
So we can adjourn? We will adjourn. Thank you.